very critically, in an agent-based context, the patterns that you're trying to explain. The thought is that even more so than in a system dynamics context, classically, we have to begin not only with a broad purpose, but with some patterns that we're trying to appeal to that capture either qualitative or quantitatively observed character of the phenomenon we're trying to deal with, or the problem we're trying to deal with. Because without that, we have too broad a space of models that we could explore without a lot of constraints to clue us in about which model is more realistic. So model purpose within an agent-based context specifically embraces pattern-oriented modeling. And those patterns are often over space and over topology, over a network, in addition to being over time. Over time is familiar. What do we call patterns over time in system dynamics modeling? That we might start with to start building up a system dynamic stock and flow model. What do we call those? Yeah, dynamic behaviors in reference modes. Those are very common in the system dynamics literature to try to motivate the construction of a model as part of model purpose, to try to capture those, explain those perhaps. Here we have a broader set of patterns because they include these additional dimensions of space and of topology. Okay, we then define the key elements, the entities, the environment and the agents within it, the states of those entities, and this is the terminology from ODD, which includes both parameters and formal changing state. In the scales, some sense of kind of whether you're simulating this over a day-by-day basis or year-by-year or decade-by-decade, second-by-second. Over what sort of scale are you trying to capture things? And then I talked about, in addition to capturing the state, the characteristics of agents, as it were, and of other entities, what are the processes that apply here? We're not looking at this overview stage to specify all those processes unambiguously. We're often just saying there will be a process of partner change, for example, associated with sexual contacts, or a process of needle exchange, which is occurring in different shooting galleries for people sharing needles, or a process of quitting and relapsing in a smoking context. We leave the full specification of these to the later stages, the detail section of the model. So that was our overview. We then talked about this in more detail. This is what I wanted to talk about today, which is at the model formulation stage, and it has to do with the later components of ODD, the design components. And last time I handed out a sheet, which some of you